do Alexandre, eu saí com o Alexandre. Quem? Eu sonhei com ele.
Lockdown Trav, who at one point in time was in that outside building just outside a train station. So, yeah, these rotational moments are coming through. But here's this. Okay, so this is what we want to talk about. We talk about the chip upgrades, what it does, and you're seeing that early investment come through. What are we looking at here overall?
Well, that's one thing that we've seen here so far, and the fact that you have to wait 10 seconds is so different, just because 10 seconds is going to be absolutely key for a team to go and swoop in and to just deny you of that chip upgrade. So with that into consideration, you need to tread carefully every time you go in for the upgrade. Make sure that your teammate is going to be in there for the defense, and try to see if there's someone going to try to push you.
Also, a loadout drop nearby here. A chance to, again, just kind of keep building yourself up to a powerful spot when it comes to what you overall are able to bring to the mix. Oh, yeah, look at this. I mean, what do you want? I mean, you pick your poison, what you want. I got what you need here. So, I mean, these two are going to have to feel like with the chip upgrade that just came through, now the loadouts, there's no excuse. I mean, you should be in a position to be in one of the top three, I feel like, at this point.
I feel like that was like a slot machine, and now that we're in Vegas, I feel like that was a lot. And the fact that you have that loadout, you are comfortable with it, you customize it yourself. So those are those purple hexes that we are really just seeing it now in the 3 weeks that we are introduced into this map. So the green hex, on the other hand, that's where you're going to be seeing the armor, the kinetic, and that's going to be that last bar you have on the side right there, the orange one that you really need to get. So apart from all of that, the gunfights and all, you need to position yourself well enough. You can see here, number one already, Ferg and Sonho already getting that 140 points. Grizz, on the other hand, they already have 91. So it's still very doable for them to take that number one spot.
Really, everybody listed number 3 all the way down to number 20 is hoping that Ferg and Sonho fall sooner rather than later, just to keep this tournament alive. Because if they find another 7-kill top 3 situation, they may put themselves a bit out of reach. Here we go, a little bit of Demolition Derby coming through. Jazz going to be able to ride the hood of the car, stay alive for a time, but Head for Death comes out, finds one. Why not give him the second? Quick reload, and eventually Benny will fall, so that's another wipe coming through. Our team that finished second in lobby number 1, looking solid so far with 3 total kills and a lot of loot now to pick up.
They want to avenge themselves with that pretty bad round number 2, and they've been doing well so far, positioning themselves really early, which they always did in round number 1. And when they tried to go into the aggression into round number 2, it didn't really work out for them. And they are going to be using this tar to really just go in there early enough. And we keep saying this, a lot of the times in this map, you don't have a lot of cover, and that's why the vehicle gameplays are going to be really key here.
Head back over, we take a look at Inferno and Robbie, who are on the outside of this circle. A little bit of a situation at hand here as they find themselves in a gunfight with only a couple of seconds until this zone moves, and they are nowhere near where this next zone is going to be. So you've got to start hustling, and honestly, you better hope that you can hit some shots as you make this run, because this is a long way that you're going to be asking these two teams to rotate, regardless of what happens with this gunfight.
And the gatekeeping is going to ensue here. It's going to be very difficult for Informer to go and push in, knowing very well. You see there, the armor. He needs to go and replenish that. I'm not quite sure why he didn't really replenish it that early on. And you know what? That's going to be very difficult as the zone is going to be pushing in. The health slowly going down already. Inferno getting a lot of these shots as well. Only a little bit of armor left.
And this team is still here by the look of it. There is at least this little 4x4 to get onto and help rotate in a bit sooner. I'm a little bit surprised that the squad that was right in front of them didn't go through. I've had that problem more times than I care to talk about, where it's like, I'm looking to drive, but it ends up being driving Miss Daisy, and I just get on the back, yeah.
And finally, they get to go in there. Inferno just having just a little bit of good thing that they actually have the kinetic armor as well. Oh, look at that. Ferg getting rid of Miney already. That's my pick. So, you know what? At this point, I think I'm just going to be betting my money on Ferg. Blaze is right. But you know what? It's Vegas. Anything can happen as well. I still have hope for you, Miney.
Oh, take a look at this here. We talk about construction site. Jim, Landy, they are surveying the property from the top ropes. And I mean, look, if this is a final zone that's on construction, they'll be in a great spot. And you also see they are fully armored up. So they've also been able to invest into what they bring into the mix. But you also see team number 3 is also here. That's Dams and Nebraska, I believe, who are right below them. Ooh. Obviously, the clanking going on. This will be heard, and it's just down to hoping you find good timing.
Wow. Okay. I'm not quite sure if you guys were able to see what kind of operator they were able to get. So, Jim, they have a cluster strike. They are the spotters here. Not only do they have that high ground, anyone who comes near them, they can literally just have a rain of missiles to anyone that's going to be right below them. They have the eagle eye view. They got God's eyes here, where they get to see every single one of these teams that tries to push. And not only that, they even have the helicopter.
Yeah, the helicopter is actually really key here because we saw it earlier in round number 1 where Yaya, I believe it was just floating around on a helicopter trying to play for positioning. So if you find yourself in a sticky spot, you can bail immediately. And that's going to have to likely be the case. This construction site will largely be out of the picture. There is still this corner to play off of, and that looks like where Jim and Landy want to go. So safe for now, load out to pick up, but they're on the same floor as Team 3. So keep that in the back of your mind if that fight ends up ensuing. Take a tally on the rest of the map. You still got Team 14 on the way outside. That's Head for Death and Saxy. Looks like they're happy to loot for now. I have to imagine they have a vehicle to play off of. And everything else looks like it's just down to this scramble to get over towards where we initially started the map, over towards the 6-pack area.
10 teams still need to go in there for the push. 50 seconds left on the clock, and that's not going to be a lot of time to try to go and push in. So again, the spotter is going to be used, and there you go. They know where they are, but then iDams is going to be able to get rid of Landy. So that is one thing that I'm actually pretty surprised that they lost here. Jim's going to be the only person left for his team. So having the spotter as your final, that is not going to be good because you can get damage from your own spotter.
We'll see how things unfold. We saw Jim finesse a 1v2 in round 2 for quite a while. Didn't end up panning out for him, but he was able to survive to secure a top 3 positioning and a lot of points because of that. Again, your top 3, that's where you start to get to 25 points for third, 30 for second, 40 for first. So a lot of points can be tallied just by staying alive, and Jim may have to consider doing that. 10 seconds till the zone starts to come on in. You see Drari, Saturns in the kill feed. Looks like on the unfavored side, as they're probably a product of an unfavorable gunfight. And that is indeed the case, and it's by the hands of none other than Ferg and Soneho. They're keeping their kill tally high.
As per usual, we keep seeing a bunch of duels against these two teams, and Saturn's always going to be at the very bad end of the stick. So if you're going to be Saturns, and if you always keep losing the gunfights with the same team, you need to do something differently. So speaking of something differently, Jim needs to find a way to go and push and really just get out of the situation quickly, knowing very well that he's going to lose this 2v1 situation. So they actually see the footprints right now. They know very well where Jim's going to be.
Well, they're eventually going to have to meet up, you'd have to feel like. Taking a look at other squads as far as where the final circle is going to be. Team 16 looks like they're in a pretty solid spot. That is Ferg and Soneho. And Jim eventually does get figured out just as the zone is about to push them out of construction site, at least the majority of it. So Jim tried to finesse, tried to maybe be a bit cheeky, but not quite able to get both the players down is the unfortunate part of the conversation. So over to Kranix and Grizz. Good game in the last game. Finishing themselves off with a favorable position, and they find themselves just on the inside of the circle nearby. Inferno and Robbie, Team 4, rotating in.
Team 4 is going to be in a very tricky spot as one team is going to greet them with a very wonderful hello. But if they're going to engage, that is going to be the question here. Kranix already having that 1 kill, only having the axe. So pretty surprised that he only has the axe and not really anything else. So if they are going to be able to maybe have an engagement, once he loses a lot of that ammo and needs to go for the reload, he needs to switch out to another weapon. And the axe is not going to be able to go and help you. So even though that number 4 is going to be here gate kept, it's still very easy for them to maybe win this. But Grizz and Kranix, they're going to be a hard team to beat.
Kranix. I believe he's seen this. Yeah, Grizz is in a position as well. They're starting to reposition, knowing that they've got an advantage here. Robbie on the other side of the tree. Kranix taking a couple of stray shots, nothing connecting. Bertha providing the only cover between them and the inevitable, it feels like. Smoke will come through. And then how about this? Wait a second. Who's this driving on in? Wouldn't you know it? It's Shark once again. More hijinks and hilarity from them, but they say, you guys can have fun with that. We're just going to drive on into the zone. And also on the rotation in team number 12, that's Narcs and Malachi that are on the way in. So third-party situation, Inferno's going to read this and say, uh-oh, we are in a really bad spot. We need to make a decision right now.
You got to get into Big Bertha and just get
out
your
of
way. Exactly. Go into the zone because nothing is going to happen good here. So we're not seeing that right now. We see here Grizz and Kranich still right there. I'm not quite sure if Team 12 actually knows where that squad is, but you know what? That's not really going to work out. It's a good thing that Inferno is going to be able to go in back out of the situation. Yes, the rotation going into the circle is going to be great for them.
This is too free, honestly. This is showing up to an open house, and then the real estate agent is giving you the house for free. Because that shouldn't be allowed to happen. This is a third-party situation. They were in the worst spot. They were stuck between two squads, and all of a sudden, tables have turned, and it's actually Kranich and Grizz that find themselves stuck between two teams. Now, granted, they don't have to rotate too far, but one bad gunfight could completely take this lobby away from them.
And we thought it was going to be chaos just because of the
sure.
three teams, right? But then it was a stalemate, surprisingly. So these teams are very hesitant to going for the engagements, playing too passively. But they are going to be able to go in there for the rotation early on. So a lot of drops already happening here.
Oh,
Gunshots already being taken right now. Team 4, the one that actually went in for the rotation. Inferno and Robbie, let's see what is going to happen. Yeah, too free indeed.
I mean, this is what I'm talking about. You get to a spot here where you're the only team in zone, and you've got all of this free real estate just to watch teams rotating down into this gully. And Ferg is not just done yet. He's seen Inferno and Robbie behind this rock. The only player that could play spoiler is Neil. But I think they know that he's down here as well. Head for death, able to find Malachi. Saxy also dropping. And now Neil on the rotation. He's been figured out. Tries to take the gunfight down low. Sonho not allowing him to do so. And we're down to our final two squads. It's Team 16 and Team 4. And the final zone will put us right out into the open.
That is so hard to actually see. 4 squads left here in the mix, and Ferg already having 8. That is absolutely crazy. He just keeps getting better and better in terms of the kills. He has an average of 5 here so far, but you know what? Here, that 8, that is going to be the difference. And Kranich is going to be having a very hard time. Gets spotted, but the tree does save him just a little bit. Grizz is going to be, on the other hand, not going to be in a safe spot as well, as everyone's going to be rushing inside of the circle. We see here Ferg is going to be absolutely crazy with a gunfight.
But they're not safe either. This damage is okay for now, but I didn't realize how close Grizz and Co. were to being in the zone. So yeah, they were tagged up, but technically speaking, they're in the best overall position. And trying to rotate to get in earlier is Inferno and Robbie. Then what we're seeing out of Sonho and Ferg. Still a good position nonetheless. Top 3 going to be secured. Here comes the fight. Shot still tagging. Inferno now taken down low as he gets completely broken. But there's really nothing to happen as far as them actually being able to finish off these kills. And they're rotating long. The Psychosis is out. It's actually baiting out shots. Kranich and Grizz able to find one down under Robbie in the meantime.
Oh, that was a very good play of the Psychosis and really going into the final circle and how open it's going to be. That's going to be absolutely key. Ferg, though, is the War Machine was in play. You see here, MX9 already 9 for Ferg. Now, is it going to be a 10? It's going to be Inferno yet again, having those kills as well. Kranich's going down. Inferno is going to be going down. And Ferg already with 10. Is it going to be 11? Grizz is going to be the only person left for his team. It is going to be a 2v1 situation as per usual.
Ferg continues to get away with this. The third-party situation in the late circle continues to be in his favor. Grizz now coming through. Psychosis out one more time. Deployable cover down. Grizz stuck behind the loadout. No chance. And the second lobby win that we've seen comes by the way of Ferg and Sonho, who avoid a third party and end up spoiling and raining on everybody else's parade. They may have just put this entire event out of reach. We'll be back to tally the leaderboard after this.
Our Worlds Invitational as we are here at the Poker Go Studios on the Las Vegas Strip. We got a chance to talk to our players and ask them what do they love about Call of Duty Mobile, and this is what they had to say.
It's got to just be the freedom about how I'm able to play the game. You know, I can use the weapons I want. I can literally choose some of my favorite all-time classic maps in Call of Duty Mobile. And if I just want to play that map or that mode all day long, I can do that.
The thing I like about Call of Duty Mobile right now is that all the classes have different hero abilities. Like, I think that's really cool. And I like the fact that the perks upgrade the weapons, they make them feel different. And I love just how big the map is. It's really cool. It looks huge, it feels huge, and it's fun.
My favourite thing about Call of Duty Mobile is being able to play in a ranked game mode against really good players and being able to pick my own loadouts, my own skins, and play against the best people in Europe.
It's such a really easy access. Everyone with a phone can play it. Plus, the game itself is really fast-paced. Call of Duty Mobile, I've never been bored since 2 years ago when I started.
What I like most about Call of Duty Mobile is its accessibility. Since I'm always on my phone and I have it everywhere, I can play it whenever, wherever I go.
The reason why I love Call of Duty Mobile is because it's like the best FPS game on mobile to this current day.
Man, what I love about Call of Duty Mobile, hey, it's the global community because you guys are awesome, all right? Welcome back to the show. And man, you know, one thing that Sin was talking about in the video, Mommy, he mentioned a lot when it came down to classes, and we talked about having a medic class and how important that is to, you know, to have in this game mode. But, you know, we're playing in duos. Medic is one. What's another one that you want to have?
Another one that you really want to have is a defender. We see very aggressive players have this because it can stop a car, it can stop a play, and if you really go close, it can stun your enemy where you can go in. We saw that the last time when Ferg actually went in against Grizz, pulled out the defender against him, and really, he was stunned. He couldn't do anything about it.
For me, I mean, look, COD Mobile, it's the abilities, it's the flexibility, it's the accessibility. That's the thing that has been, I think, really cool about seeing this game from really its inception all the way to where we are now. You know, for the esports scene, we've got a collection of maps that date all the way back to BO2, even some MW2 maps that are in the mix. You get like, you know, not just the ability to play maps like Terminal and stuff like that, but the ability to kind of relive some of the nostalgic like heart keeps when it comes to COD Mobile and all of COD in this franchise. It's really awesome. So yeah, the abilities, I'll call it.
And that's a great point, because when you think about COD esports, you know, just across the whole, rather if it's Warzone or the CDL, there are some restrictions there across the board, but we see very few restrictions here on mobile. You heard one of the players say in the video that they love it because they get to play whatever map they want, whatever loadout they want. They get to really experience the whole game. Mommy, you've been here since the beginning. As we head into the highlights, what's been one of your favorite moments?
I really like the fact that we have the score streaks, we have the abilities, and like what you said, there are a lot of restrictions in the other Call of Duties, right? But you know what? It doesn't really matter here. That's why people like COD Mobile, because it's going to be very entertaining, and how you get to use all these abilities, when you're going to use them, the timing, that is going to change your play and the meta that you're actually going to be seeing here.
You find yourself, you know, again, as we get into the Battle Royale conversation of it, we're still kind of figuring out what is going to be the most valuable part of this format. Is it placements or is it kills? And Sonho and Ferg are saying, why not both? I mean, they are absolutely dominating the competition when it comes to total kills they found. Sure, their second lobby had a little bit of an outside placement, but that's 2 out of the 3 games that they've been able to win. They tallied 14 kills in that game. That's what they had in total going through the first 2 lobbies. So an extra 110 points. This is tough, man. They may have just put this event almost completely out of reach.
Boy, they doubled up here in round number 3 when it came down to the kills. That's probably going to put them at 28 at the total across, and we'll see our overall results in just a bit. But, man, you know, Grizz and Hello Fran, a.k.a. Kranix, back-to-back second places from now. You know, granted, it feels good. You're in the top 2, but to be that close each and every time to get to first, I know it hurts, but a big portion of that, what played into a factor, is positioning there towards the late game. You know, we saw in that round number 3, Grizz and Kranix giving up some valuable position at certain points, but not even intentionally, probably just rotating a little bit too early, having that high ground and not coming down at the right time.
Absolutely. We actually thought in that game that Ferg was rotating a little bit too late with Sonho as well. But they were able to actually win those gunfights and really apply that pressure. Even though, yes, they were pushing up into the hill, they were still winning those gunfights. And Grizz was just not aggressive enough to really apply that pressure to stop the push.
It's one of those things where it's like that's now the second time that they've won the game, and it's been off the fact that they were the third partiers. Like, they were coming in to be the wedding crashers in those last 1v1s, when it very well could have been shoe on the opposite foot. But now you put 2 wins together and 28 total kills. I mean, really, you've got to look for Head for Death and Shoxy or Grizz and Kranix. They need to come in and have massive games to try to reduce that gap, because at the moment, I mean, 240 to 135, I just don't know if there's enough games left for anyone to make up that gap.
I don't know if it is either. And the thing is that if you see Team 16 anywhere around the map, Ferg and Sonho, the other 19 teams in this lobby, they need to come to a consensus that, okay, we need to either play safe or everybody gang up on these guys, because it's a massive, almost 100-point lead. I think it is over 100 points.
100 points.
Yeah, for them to be in that first place. Folks, we only have 2 rounds left in our Battle Royale Worlds Invitational. And when it comes down to the rest of the talent in the European region, now is the time to step it up if you're going to take down that dominant duo. But it is time to figure out if they can actually do it. We got 2 of the best that's been calling it all day. Show them some love in the chat. It's Shift and Mommy. Casters, take us away.
I mean, here's the thing. You have to come out, drop hot, and take every fight that's in front of you. And honestly, if it's not Ferg and Sonho, you have to help somebody else who's found Ferg and Sonho. Because really, look, they put together a 110-point game. The gap right now is about 110. So you have to find a 10-plus kill game that's a win if you want to reduce that deficit, if you're sitting in the top 5. And again, you also have to hope that one of those early fights is against Ferg and Sonho that you can win. It's a lot to ask, but if there were to be a time to make up that deficit, you have to feel like it's this round right here before it gets too out of hand.
Absolutely. It has to be now. You have 2 rounds left to make up whatever points. It's still very possible. We already saw in that one game, 100 points is possible, and 100 points is going to be the deficit from top 2 all the way to top 1. Granted, you need to shut down Ferg and Sonho just early on into the game. But how possible that's going to be, I'm not quite sure, just because they've been really placing high, getting a lot of those kills. So there needs to be a perfect play from every single one of these duos.
Well, the one duo that we can definitely throw into the fire right now is going to be Miney and Danu, who are in firing range off the rip with Ferg and Sonho. Also nearby, Team 18. That's going to be Marky and Ruiz. They've put together some decent moments so far, but really, again, the entire lobby, they're not going to necessarily know that this fight's about to break loose, but everyone is very much so rooting for Miney and Danu right now if they have a chance to see what's going on.
Right? I mean, it's like, Mommy, please, Miney, make Mommy proud. Danu as well. Come on, girl. You can do it. You can get a lot of these shots, but they are going to be a little bit spread out. So I'm not quite comfortable the fact that they are not together and the fact that they are probably seeing a lot of the footsteps already going in from both of these squads already. So there you go. They're finally going to bunch in together, and gonna open up just a little bit. Miney and Danu already in that corner, ready to take that fight on.
Oh, here we go. Ferg able to find the first bit, but the playable cover will come down. Miney will back up, at least for now. The threat obviously now imminent and established. Danu and Miney playing patient. Ferg maybe looking for some pop-off quick scopes, not gonna get the opportunity. Miney and Danu are actually backing away from this. So, ooh, interesting. I mean, no conflict is fine, I think, overall. But still, look, we're looking for, if you're rooting for everybody else besides Ferg and Sonho, you need to see them fall out here in the bottom 3. You don't feel decent that that's going to happen, and now the sniper could come into play. Miney going to miss out from the first shot. Second one will come through. Ferg missing twice. Nade's now out, and Danu and Miney are kind of in the position where they have to be the ones to respond.
Absolutely. Danu and Miney repositioning themselves into a better place, and that's actually going to be very good for them. The fact that they already know this is going to be Ferg, because initially you don't know who's going to be right beside you, but once you put your crosshairs on that player, really the name just pops off, and that #1 squad, the #1 duo that we've seen here so far, they're smart enough to know that, okay, this team is going to be very good, so we need to position ourselves in a way where we can go get a lot, but no, here we go. Ferg knocking out Danu. He really needs to go in for the pickup for the dog tag for Miney.
I don't even know if it's an option. At this point, I mean, you could see the style that Ferg and Sonho are playing. They're not holding off at all. They're saying, look, you want to fight up against us. You're not going to run away. We'll run at you. So there we go. Loot will come through. Miney is just going to have to essentially just play survival the rest of the game here. You're going to be on your own, and for a team that needs points, you have to hope that you can find yourself in a top 5 situation late game. So there we go. Firing range vacated. Ferg and Sono winning this position.
You just gave 5 points right now to the top team. Basically the team that didn't really need the points already. But let's take a look at Inferno right now and Vault Robbie. They've been in the middle of the pack here so far. And Inferno, they've been pretty impressive. But if they really want to go in there and get a lot of these kills, they need to make sure that they go in there for the game into that early rotation into the last few circles. But granted, they've been winning a bunch of their gunfights, but they've been, like what I said, in the middle. So they need to step it up here. This is the type of round where you need to go in there. And yes, the slowdown is going to be happening right there. So you know what? Actually, that's going to be a very interesting thing. There's such an ability called the Time Turner where you can actually take your steps back.
Well, I don't think they'll be doing that anytime soon because the zone is actually going to be hitting them here. A bit surprised they didn't go for the helicopter or the car that was nearby, but what do I know? Back over to Rivertown. It's free for the moment. This has been a subject of a lot of early gunfights, but so far, it looks like things are pretty much wide open. So this is head for death, I believe, with Sarky. And yeah, they're in a pretty good spot here by the looks of it, just to try to grab some free loot. They should be pretty good as far as what they're overall able to put their loadouts into. They will also have to rotate, vacate Rivertown, but for the time being,
Head for Death has been doing such a great job. They are. Actually, you know what? I'm not quite sure how far the points are going to be, but sitting comfortably at that 3rd spot. So they've been doing really good here so far. Saxy as well, getting a lot of these kills. So they're probably the squad and the duo that can actually go in to get a win. Apart from Grizz, apart from Ferg, they are probably the 3rd team that can finally put an end into the tyranny that is Ferg.
Well, Danu did get chased down. Ferg able to find the final kill. That will fully eliminate their team. And my goodness, any kill that you see being tallied up for them is bad news for the lobby. And at a certain point, by the way, that certain point is now, I think you just have to try to find a squad that's willing to take faster gunfights because at the moment, as far as pacing and tempo is concerned, there isn't anybody who's coming close to the play style that we've seen so far from Ferg and Sono. There is no such thing as a yellow or red light for these guys. It's all green all the time. Get in there, find kills, trust that we're just going to outplay everybody in the lobby, and so far they have not been treated otherwise.
Yeah, the confidence is back, and not only that, the chip upgrade is already ensuing. The only time we actually saw that they were kind of reluctant was in round number 2, where they only placed 5th, but here you go, a lot of games. Oh, look at that. There's actually 3 teams already here, and look who's in the middle into the sandwich right now. It's going to be Sono and Ferg. This is the time where they can actually take down Ferg if they choose to do it.
But there is the escape plan of a helicopter nearby. And the thing about it is Yaya and Alvaro are the ones who have to move first. And I don't know if Ferg and Sono recognize how close Yaya was, but they're going to get in the helicopter and just fly away. That's going to allow Yaya and Co just to get into the zone, no problem. But I mean, again, you missed out on an opportunity here. And wait a second, Ferg and Sono went behind them. They want to take the fight. The gun sight will unfold, but Yaya tagged down low. The zone will chip, but only barely. It's only the first circle, so it's not going to hurt too much. This is a gunfight that could last in the zone for quite some time.
Put some armor on, and there you go. But it's going to be very hard for them as the HP is dwindling down slowly for both of these teams right now. And then Sono, they need to go out of the zone, and there you go. That is going to be very smart for them. They're just going to be right outside of the zone where they know they can actually go and heal up and maybe even win this gunfight. Get on top of the hill, get that high ground, and know very well that there's nowhere else to push for Yaya.
Huge advantage again for Ferg and Sono. Mobility and the zone definitely in their favor. Yaya and Alvaro have to make a move. And it needs to be sooner rather than later. I mean, you can see how far they have to go to the next zone and only 1:12 to do it. Smoke will come through. Ferg able to tag up once. That breaks the armor plus the knock on the Yaya. No one's even shooting back against these guys. That's the problem. Someone has to be at least somewhat resilient against these two because right now they're just doing whatever they want.
There's nothing that they could do. The high ground, the head glitch, they all had it. Ferg already had it in the bag, and Alvaro's going to be the only person left for his team to actually go and make a difference, but they know very well where he is. Look how far they are. They can't even go into the back just because they don't even have the utilities to actually go and heal up and to even engage with the gunfight. They're just outgunned, outsmarted, and outwitted by Ferg.
Just playing aggressive with helicopters. It's the name of the game that we see in Warzone continually. Alvaro has to move. Ferg on the hunt. We'll take some of the loot. Alvaro out in the cornfields. I don't know if he's been fully seen yet, but now he will be. Ferg will say, we see you. Sonho is actually going to maybe chase things down, and yeah, they know that this is a free 5 points right here if they can just do this together. Here comes the gunfight. Alvaro doesn't even stand a chance. 3 kills now tallied up for Team 16 with Ferg and Sonho.
Beautiful pinch by Ferg and Sonho. And that is the duo that we keep just talking about. There's a reason why we keep talking about them. Oh, forgets to actually go and ride the helicopter. That was a close one. But here we go. Neil been doing a really good job here so far. So they're going to be in a little bit of a pickle here just because of how far away they are from everyone else. So you can see here on the left side, Ferg and Sonho already having 250 total points. Right below them is going to be